Welcome everyone, I'm Amber Hankins, and in this edition of Newsroom Nonsense, we are exploring our sensitive side, you could say, taking you all the way back to childhood where stuffed animals and dolls were our entire world. Now, my own little Lovey came to me about 37 years ago for my very first birthday, and while she is well loved, of course, I've adored her ever since, even into my adulthood. And as it turns out, I'm not the only one here at Wish TV with a childhood Lovey story to tell. So join me as we take a stroll down memory lane.
This is my teddy bear that I've had for 57 years. He doesn't have a name. My mom bought him at the gift shop at the old St. Vincent's that used to be over here on Fall Creek. She was working in X-ray back then in 1963, and had gone back to work. And it was like her first week back to work, and she was feeling guilty.
Yeah.
So she bought this at the gift shop to leave with me during the day when she was gone.
Face.
A dog got a hold of him, tore up his ear.
Oh my goodness.
His head's been pulled off. He's been stitched. Looks like his arm's been pulled off and was stitched. But the interesting thing about him is my daughter latched on to him about 10 years ago. And when we have moved, she has taken him out of the box, brought him into our bedroom, set him next to my side of the bed on the nightstand so that he has constant watch over me. He now sits next to my bed on the nightstand, and every night my glasses go right here on his legs.
This is my Snoopy, and he's been my best friend for my whole life. I'm not ashamed to say I love me a good Snoopy. And my mom got my Snoopy from my dad like 2 years before I was born, I think, so like 1979. And when I was a little baby, I got to pick one stuffed animal to stay with me or whatever, because I guess I had too many. And I picked Snoopy, and I've, had Snoopy ever since. His nose is basically kind of falling off. I mean, he's totally got a Velveteen Rabbit kind of thing going on, but I wouldn't trade him for anything. He's got my dog hair on him. But
this is my guy, Lammykins. And I've had Lammykins since I was, this old. I got it as a gift from my Auntie Joanne, who is like my twin. And as you can see, Lammy's had to get patched up at the hospital a couple times. I had my one dog take out the eye. Another doggy kind of got the back. So I had to do some little sewing on her. And if you see in the picture, this still bugs me. I have issues. He used to have a little bell around his neck. You can kind of see that in their little bell. And I remember I was in day camp one time, and we're doing a little play, and there's another girl. She was playing a sheep or a cow. So I'm like, hey, you can borrow Lammy's bell. And then she wouldn't give it back. And to this day, I'm like, I still don't have Lammy's bell.
Oh, so you have it?
No, I don't have the bell. I'm like, it's just not the same getting a new one. But now, Lammy now, since I learned from the first two dogs, I keep them up on my dresser so the doggies can't get them. But yeah, this guy's been through a lot.
What do you see? What do you feel when you look at him? Brings you back to childhood, I'm sure.
Oh my God, it does. It's like, before they even had, it was like your security thing, if you got scared or whatever. And, I've kept, I'm one of those people, I remember everything. So I kept lots of stuffed animals. I remember their names, but this was like, he was the first. He's the best.
I've had Pooh since I was about 3. And a few years ago, my daughter had Pooh in her room. Somehow Pooh lost his shirt. When I was a child, it had a snap on the back, and at night I would turn it around to be his pajamas.
Oh, that's so cute.
And my daughter was doing that too up to a certain point, but it got lost. And it was bothering my son that Pooh didn't have a shirt. So he drew the pattern, cut it out. He went to the cloth store, the fabric store with my daughter. They picked out the material, and then the two of them together sewed it up, and it's not a bad fit at all.
That is amazing.
For a first try, so my Pooh has a new shirt. Thank you very much. Took
Nice
it everywhere.
to meet you, Pooh. Nice to meet you.
He's smiling. He used to have a mouth, but
he
he's
used to have a mouth. Did you take him everywhere when you were a kid?
Everywhere. He used to squeak.
Okay.
But then it got to a point where you had to stomp on him.
Yeah.
To squeak, and that was just a bad visual. So we just didn't try to make him squeak anymore. But he still waves. He still gets excited.
Hey, Pooh. Are you passing this down to the kids, or is this one all Trace?
Oh yeah, passing it down.
That's the
If
way
they
to
want
do it.
They have their own too.
Bye, Pooh. Nice to meet you, buddy.
this is, you know, if I had one thing to grab before the tornado hits the house, it's Snoopy. I mean, that's it. It's, you know, he's my dude. I can't not. Even as an adult, like if I'm having a bad day, sometimes I just gotta go home and just hug my Snoopy. I mean, that's just how you do sometimes.
You know, I've taken him for granted, I guess, because he's always just been kind of in the room. You know, and this is the first time I've held him for any period of time in years. You know, and this is, you know, my dad passed 2 years ago tomorrow, so it makes me a little
I would imagine.
nostalgic.
No name or not, you sure are sweet, and you sure tell a story.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, a story indeed, bringing us all back to a much simpler time. Now, even though most of us don't remember what it was like being 2 or even 5 years old, somehow, through the eyes of our childhood friends, it's as if everything is going to be okay. After all, as Woody in Toy Story said, being there for a child is the most noble thing a toy can do. Reporting for Wish TV and Newsroom Nonsense, I'm Amber Hankins.